things we keep inside. I know I'll be alright. I'll fight with will and time. Yeah.
Hello, this is Robert.
And this is Robert.
And you are listening to Roberts Sportcast.
So today, guys, this is our first episode of this podcast, and we're going to go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about ourselves and why we decided to do this. So I guess I'll go ahead and start us off here. I'm Robert Kevin Maddox II. I'm from Lumberton, Texas, and I am, I guess, the football expert of the two of us Roberts here. I kind of got into football, I guess, a little bit later than most people. I was during the end of 5th grade when I got a sheet, and basically there's an application to play football. And now I hadn't played sports since 2nd grade. I played basketball in 2nd grade and I wasn't very good at it. It wasn't my cup of tea. And then eventually I was like, I was really out of shape. I was just really out of shape, and it was bad. And I was like, I really want to play football because at the time I was a lot bigger than everybody. I was like, these big guys hitting each other. I feel like I'd be pretty good at it. So, right before the beginning of 6th grade came around, I started playing football. And at first, I really didn't like it, but I pushed through, and I really enjoyed playing it. I played in 6th grade, 7th, 8th, through middle school, with a lot of close friends of mine. Made a lot of my friends through football. I was actually very shy and antisocial, and I think that actually helped me a lot through football. And into high school, as of right now, I'm a junior, and I just got done playing my first varsity game as a junior yesterday. It was pretty fun. We had a good time, but football's really been a big part of my life with my friends, and it's really given me motivation. I feel better about myself. I feel like I look better. Working out definitely is what helps me in my confidence, for sure. So what about you? What do you do, Dylan? Or Robert, I guess I could say.
My name is Robert Dylan Lewis the First. I'm the original.
You're the first.
But I go by Dylan. He goes by Kevin.
Yeah.
And so I got into basketball. I was 4 years old. My mom knew the owner of the Little Dribblers League in our town, so he got me in early. So I've been playing since I was 4, and
Did you play in Lumberton?
Yeah, I played in Lumberton. I played in Lumberton my whole life. I mean, I've done select teams and stuff outside of Lumberton, but mainly I've been in Lumberton. So I started when I was 4. And just kind of fell in love with it, and I've been playing since I was about in kindergarten, 4 years old.
Wow. And
going on, I'm also a junior. So I just got into it. It was just something I could do when there was nothing else to do. It was like an escape, like a therapy type thing. Mm-hmm. And like Kevin said with this, so being kind of socially awkward, or not socially awkward, just not talking a lot.
Yeah, about to say, you're not socially awkward. You're way more outgoing than I am, that's for sure.
Just not talking to a lot of people, it's
definitely.
It also helps you focus on your craft, your sport. Mm-hmm. So basketball's just been a big thing, and then I got into the NBA. If you couldn't tell, I'm the basketball expert.
No, I thought you specialized in football, and I was doing basketball.
I'll say expert lightly because I don't.
Yeah, I don't think we're experts.
I know.
I feel like we'll be experts by the time, episode 200 comes around, and we'll just be like, yeah, actually, I'm kind of better than ESPN at rating these guys. I
think by the end of this, I'll actually be better than LeBron James at basketball.
Probably.
Just to big up my knowledge. But yeah, I got into the NBA probably about 5 years ago, but I had been into basketball since I was 4. And I'm a fan of the Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers for football, and the Jacksonville Jaguars
for basketball.
Sadly.
you said football twice, but it's fine.
Oh, Los Angeles Clippers is basketball, and then the Jaguars are football. Those are my 2 teams.
So we started this podcast for a couple of reasons. I think the biggest reason is we felt like our voices, we have pretty good voices, I like to think, and I think we can talk to people about sports. I want to know more about basketball. He wants to know more about football. And, if we talk to each other about these things, we can maybe understand it better each other. But not only that, but people at home, you guys listening in right now, can also understand the 2 sports better. Let's just say you're talking, you go to work or school or whatever, and you're talking to, your colleagues talking about that basketball game, that playoff basketball game, and you know nothing about it, but you just want to talk about it, but you can't because you don't know anything about it. Well, we have this podcast here to, sit back, relax, and, as you're doing homework or, just chilling, whatever, cleaning the house, you can listen to us. and we'll be here. I mean, we're gonna try to do this once a week, but we'll no promises yet. We'll see how this goes. But I'm really excited to learn more about basketball and even more about football, even something I know a lot about, diving into it, because, you got to have topics every week to talk about, and I'm really excited about that. So, yeah, me and Dylan, we've been talking about this for a couple weeks, and this is going to be our first episode. So don't judge us too harshly, guys. we are really unexperienced, and this isn't really our field, but we're going to try it out, I guess.
Yeah, and the quality, it might not be the greatest at first until we get the funds to buy a real mic.
Yeah,
and eventually there'll be a camera, but there's not going to be a camera for this one.
Just stick around till our promos at the end so you can give us all your money so we can get better equipment, basically.
Yeah, so pretty much we want to use this as a platform to educate ourselves and yourself listening. So when the occasion comes to talk about something and you want to talk about it, you know how to talk about it. So pretty much this is a learning platform for all of us, everyone involved.
Definitely.
And, it would be great if you subscribed.
Definitely.
I'll just go ahead and plug ourselves right now.
Yeah.
Subscribe right
now. Yeah, just subscribe. We've been here for 5 minutes talking. And
flick the bell while you're at it, too.
So get our notifications. I don't know much about YouTube, but from the YouTubers that I do watch and I have heard, sometimes you won't get your notifications even if you subscribe. So you have to click the bell in order to get them.
Yeah.
And the reason we want you to make sure you get our content is it helps us. It gets us going, right? We see, we got 100 views on our first episode. Are you kidding me? That's so inspiring to build on our craft like a sport. You get that first good block, or you drain that first three, and you're like, wow, that just felt so good. I just want to keep going, and that's kind of what this is, I think, in a sense. What do you think? You thinking?
Yeah, I agree with him. So for the schedule, I think we were thinking, so we're recording this on...
It's Saturday right now.
Saturday, September 5th. The NFL season hasn't started. We won't be talking much about the NBA because it's already going on. We don't want to start midway. They're in the mid-playoffs.
Yeah. We actually talked about, kind of starting it in the middle, but we were like, there's no point. We're in the middle of the playoffs. How I wouldn't want to start talking about football in the middle of the playoffs without a lot of people prior season knowledge and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think whenever
the finals come around, we might talk a little bit about the finals.
Definitely.
But we're still in the second round, and I think it'd just be bad to start midway.
Mm-hmm.
So the new season starts in like a month or two. So we're just gonna hold off for the NBA till then. If we talk anything big comes up, we'll talk about it. Yeah. But mostly we'll be talking about NFL at first, and.
Yeah, that's going to be our big topic for today. So you NBA peeps who are just here for NBA, this probably isn't going to be the biggest podcast for you. We might talk a little bit.
Yeah. But don't click off, though.
Yeah, don't click off. You might as well learn about football while you're here. Might as well. Why not? It's, you might not be your favorite sport in the world, but you might learn to love it as much as I did, or maybe as much as Dylan will if he falls in love with the sport like I did. Yeah. Which hopefully I'll fall in love with basketball. I think the things are there for me to enjoy it. I just got to learn a little bit about it, like he has to learn a little bit about football.
Yeah, and I like the NFL, but I think this will help me love the NFL.
Yeah,
and maybe start actually watching all the games, because I don't watch many games. Mm-hmm. I watch maybe once a week, which isn't bad, but
yeah, it takes a certain person to sit down and watch three NFL games back to back, because there's the noon game, the middle of the day game at like 3:25, 3:30, and then that Sunday night game.
Yeah, and let's be honest, there's some games you're not gonna want to watch.
Well, obviously, but
eventually, there's for the first week, like Lions and Bears, I won't be tuning into that game. I'm gonna be honest.
Be okay. I think the Lions and Bears won't be as bad as you think. I think Khalil Mack, you can't forget about Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I see.
And Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I think it'll be an okay game, but there's some games you don't want to watch, like the Jets and the Dolphins,
Yeah, no. That's actually a game.
There's a game you don't want to. I don't know. I don't think they're playing week 1, but I know their division rivals are going to play twice this season.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to watch either of those games unless you're a fan. Then I'm sorry if I offended you, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
So
we don't want to be a fan of your team.
Get a better team. Come on,
don't be a fan of the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to yourself? It's terrible.
It's horrible. Did you not just see what they traded Ronnie Harrison for? We'll get to that in a little while. Actually, it's pretty bad. But anyways, back to our schedule. Back to our main. Just talking about our schedule, we plan on uploading every Sunday, more than likely. This is probably going to go up on a Sunday. If it doesn't, it might go up later this week, maybe even the whole next weekend. But we don't know that yet.
Yeah, and for a time during Sunday, we don't exactly know yet. Whenever this comes up tomorrow during Sunday, it'll most likely stick around that same time every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, eventually, like during Christmas, we'll probably take a break, but that's too far ahead. So let's focus.
Well,
on
I mean, like we only have to do these once a week. So even if it is like Christmas break week, you record it for an hour, we go home, we enjoy it. But like obviously we're gonna attempt to do this every weekend, But there's gonna be some things where I'm gonna be super busy, you're gonna be super busy.
Yeah.
So if we have to record them during the week, we can. Yeah. It'll just be a hard little stretch. It might not be the whole hour and a half full long podcast that we plan on doing, but it'll be 45 minutes, 30 minutes, just something for you guys to listen to, because I don't want to say we're gonna upload every single week. Be here for it. Be ready for it. No, we're human. At the end of the day, we're human. Everyone's human. The sports people, even these crazy athletes that we're gonna be talking about, are human, and that's what makes NFL games and NBA games so much fun, because you expect these teams to be so good. Like in Madden, right? The Cowboys are always like in the 90s. But, last year they went 8-8, and as a Cowboys fan, that really hurt me. But that's just how it is. They're not computers. They're real life people, and we are too. So I ask that you guys understand that, and that if we need a break from this, that you guys give it to us, or at least understand it. But we'll be back. I love doing it. I think I'm gonna fall in love doing this, because this is fun. Yeah. This is a very fun thing to do.
I mean, we're only like 11 minutes in. I'm loving this so far.
Yeah, it's great. And we haven't even talked about anything. We're just talking about the podcast and ourselves. Yeah. Like we haven't even dived into any topics that we have here. We have a couple topics here, but yeah, that's all for I think just about everything.
Yeah, that's it for the intros and the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So what we talk about next is the NFL. We're gonna talk about the NFL schedule, like actual schedule, and our predictions.
Right.
So we'll get right into that.
All right. So, Dylan, do you want to go ahead and bring up your predictions here, and then we'll be talking about the games from week to week, and we'll see if we agree.
All right, so for the first game we'll be talking about is the Texans versus the Chiefs.
Texans versus Chiefs. So that's the Thursday night game. It's the first game of the season. A lot of people are going to be watching, right? I miss football.
I mean, I'm going to be watching.
I miss football. I mean, no, we didn't have a preseason because of the coronavirus. Speaking of, guys, wear your mask. Stay 6 feet apart.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, please. Try to get this thing done so we can go back to our daily lives. But I heard the vaccine's coming out soon. But yeah. So
I've been working on it.
Yes, sir. So we got the first game.
Texans versus Chiefs.
Texans is at the Chiefs? I'm assuming it's at the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think so.
Because, not that home games will probably matter as of right now.
Yeah.
But I think they kind of will. Because, the atmosphere is different, right?
Yeah.
If you're in every time that the Patriots go down to Miami and play the Dolphins, it's always, they're not used to that heat. They're not used to that kind of heat. And you can tell Gronk and Brady, when they're in Tampa Bay right now, they're not used to the heat. They're like, this heat is ridiculous in Florida.
Yeah. Okay, so for that game, I have the Chiefs winning.
Yeah, me too. Do you think it'll be close? Do you think it'll be not very close?
I think. All right, look. So I'm gonna be saying my scores and what I think the score's gonna go.
I don't have a score prediction, but I'll either agree or disagree.
Or
agree to disagree.
Be kind. I'm not a big NFL fan, but I looked at all the stats I could to see these, so I'm not gonna be right on 16 of 16 of these games. So I have the Chiefs winning 35-22.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I don't see the Chiefs losing very many games. I don't think against the Texans is any special occasion.
Yeah, it's obvious that the Chiefs and the Ravens are the favorites to win, to be the number one seed this season. And the way the playoffs are, it's different this year than last year. There's only the number one seed on the NFC and AFC are the only teams that get a first round bye. Everyone else has to play in the wild card week. Every single other team that made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, so that game will be Texans at the Chiefs.
At the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Chiefs are definitely going to win. They were going to win even if they played in Houston.
Yeah.
I think the loss of DeAndre Hopkins is really going to hurt the Texans' morale going into week one.
You're really going to see the loss of him more than you would have. You're going to notice that he's not there more than you notice he was there.
Definitely.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah, he's an elite receiver, top 3 for sure. Top 2 in my opinion, but everyone can agree he's top 3.
Yeah.
I think most everyone, at least top 5.
Yeah.
And even then, that's stretching it. DeAndre is just a different type of breed of an NFL wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a different breed.
He's literally built different.
He built different. For the next game, we got the Packers versus the Vikings. That'd be Packers at the Vikings.
At the Vikings.
I have the Vikings winning this one.
And I don't. I think the Packers. Yeah, this is gonna be our first. We're already on the second game, and we're already disagreeing here. But the Packers went 12-4 last year. Matt LaFleur. I think Matt LaFleur is a pretty good head coach. But I think the reason they went 12-4 last year is, you're gonna hate me when I say it, it's Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers' team. He's been in that system for years. I think Matt LaFleur built the system around Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is more of the head coach in terms of leading his offense. Now, when it comes to defense, I'm sure Matt LaFleur, he kind of steps his foot up on defense. I'm not even sure who the defensive coordinator is for the Packers myself. So yeah, I'm sorry for not being educated on that. But I don't see the Vikings winning, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is the Vikings secondary. They lost Xavier Rhodes, who I know you guys are saying, oh, he's bad, he's a horrible corner. Last year he didn't have the best season. But prior years, he's had really good seasons. He's a Pro Bowl corner, very, very good corner lockdown. The safeties are all right. Harrison Smith, great, I think that's his name, I believe. Great safety. One of the best strong safeties in the league. I think he's going to be all right. But Devontae Adams is going to be an issue. It's going to be the number one issue for the Vikings, especially in their secondary being very weak. If they can figure out a way to cover him, but even if they double team him, I mean, the corners are going to have issues with Aaron Rodgers and his ability to read those NFL defenses. I think the only thing the Vikings really have going for them on their defense is their defensive line. They lost Linval Joseph. I believe he's on the Chargers now, or is he in the Broncos? He's on the Chargers or Broncos, one of those teams. I want to say he's on the Chargers. He's a very underrated player. He's kind of that big run stopper type of guy, but he can't power rush. But yeah, them not having him and being kind of weak on the defensive tackle for the Vikings. Aaron Jones, the Packers running back, is going to get some nice blocking from that offensive line. Probably going to get a couple big plays. I mean, that's what they did last year. I think the first game they played, the Packers and the Vikings, Aaron Jones had a really, really good game last year. They were up 21-0 at one point last year. I don't know if you saw, did you see that the Vikings got, I wanted to say Yannick Ngakoue?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was one of the edge rushers for the Chargers. Or not, my bad. I'm sorry, guys. The Jaguars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they traded him for a second-round pick. So I don't know if you saw that.
Oh wow.
So what happened basically was the Vikings, they lost Danielle Hunter. They lost the other. I can't remember his name, but he went to the Cowboys, and he's a very good defensive end. I think he's going to go great with DeMarcus Lawrence. That's not the point. Point is, they have two good edge rushers. They have two young, very skilled, and Yannick Ngakoue and Daniel Hunter. Everson Griffin is his name, that left from Vikings. So what the Vikings do have going for them is they're two good edge rushers, but let's be honest, Green Bay Packers has a fantastic offensive line, maybe even top 5 in the league. But they lost Brian Bulaga. I actually just saw I forgot what team he went to, but he left the Packers, and that's going to be an issue. So yeah, but I think what's going to come down to is how well can that Vikings defense secondary keep up with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, and that's that duo is really good, definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game. I have Vikings only winning by 3, 24-21. I think if the Packers win, I'm not going to be surprised and upset. Yeah. It's definitely a game they can win. They probably will. I just have the Vikings winning. For the next game, we have the Eagles versus the Washington football team. They have yet to pick a good team name.
Yeah.
But I have the Eagles winning this one, 37-14. I don't think it's gonna be a close game.
37-14. I don't think it's gonna be that much. I think it's gonna be a blowout. I don't think it's gonna be that big. I'm gonna say 31. 17, something around there.
Yeah.
I think 2 touchdown, maybe even 3 touchdown game. I could see. The Eagles are just overall a better team. If Carson Wentz stays healthy, that's always been the biggest concern in predicting the Eagles. It's so hard to predict the Eagles for the season, right? Because with Carson Wentz healthy the entire year, it's a very rare sight to see. But if it happens,
they're gonna be good.
They're gonna be good. They're probably gonna be a playoff team. Let's be real.
Yeah. For our next game is Jets versus the Bills. I have this one 28-6. The Bills winning.
Yeah, the Bills. I don't know if. Yeah, I think so. Who are they playing? The Jets?
Yeah, the Jets.
The Jets. Yeah, the Jets are just a team that could have they were this close from just really stacking their roster. They got a couple of years ago. I don't know if it was a year or 2 years ago. Yeah. They got Le'Veon Bell, a great running back, to go with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's kind of an underrated quarterback. I think he doesn't have an offensive line. He doesn't have any good wide receivers. His best wide receiver last year was Robbie Anderson, I think, and now he's on the Panthers. So there's no wide receivers for Sam Darnold to throw to. They got that left tackle, Becton. I think his from what I've heard, he's a little raw. I haven't really seen him, so. But the Jets' offense is just nothing right now, except for Sam Darnold and Le'Veon Bell. And, running back's only as good as the offensive line will allow them to be to a point. And I don't think there's no interior offensive linemen that are going to help Le'Veon Bell this season. The Jets' defense was actually looking really good a couple years ago. They got C.J. Mosley, who's a Pro Bowl linebacker who was a Pro Bowl linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. And they got Jamal Adams and that early pick, and now Jamal Adams has decided that he didn't want to play for the Jets, so now he's on the Seahawks. With a really good roster, this could be this is a great move for the Seahawks, and a really good move for the Jets. I think they got 2 first-round picks out of this, but yeah, the Jets, and so that linebacker C.J. Mosley opted out of the season because of the coronavirus. A lot of players are opting out for the Jets, and I just don't see the Jets doing very well on offense. And on defense now, they are really losing players. And the Bills last year, wild card team, almost beat the Texans. Texans had the awesome comeback against them.
Yeah.
I don't feel very confident in Josh Allen. I think he can run okay. I think his throwing is a little inaccurate. Sometimes he just kind of throws it down the field. Arm strength is not a problem, but his accuracy is. But the real Bills, biting the neck, the real poison for that Bills team, their poison that they have in their arsenal, I guess you could say, is that defense, man. Tre'Davious White, that amazing secondary. Their defensive line's pretty good. The linebacker core's all right, but that secondary for the Bills, you just don't want to throw against them, and Sam Darnold has no weapons against them. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good prediction. 21-6, 28-6, I like it.
Yeah. Next, we have the Browns versus the Ravens. I have 30. This is 31-24. I have the Ravens winning this one
by a touchdown. That's probably pretty accurate. I think the Browns have a brand new head coach.
The thing with the Browns is just they have the names. It's just can they do it? I don't know if they can. And I feel like if they can do it, they're not going to be doing it at the first week or first 2 weeks. It's going to take them a while to get into a rhythm. That's why I have them losing to the Ravens. I would probably have them losing later in the season as well. I just think the Ravens are just better.
Right. The Ravens are just a team that's really established themselves. A lot of those really good players on their rookie contracts are really cheap right now. I mean, eventually they're going to want big money and they're going to probably leave. But as of right now, if I'm the Ravens head coach, Harbaugh, I can't pronounce his name. Harbaugh, whatever. If I was him, this is the year to win the Super Bowl. I mean, they went 14-2 last year. Everyone's expecting big things from the Ravens. Yeah. Will the Ravens keep up, or will like the Titans did last year, find a way to stop them? That Lamar Jackson, that is, and I don't know if they will be able to. But I think this game they won't be able to. I mean, it's Lamar Jackson and that amazing offensive line. Mark Ingram at running back, Marquise Brown, I believe that is his name. Just some great players on that Ravens side of the ball, and some great players on the Cleveland Browns side of the ball. But the coaching is not the same at all. You have a veteran head coach who's a really great head coach, and then you have this is gonna be the first year of the Baylor head coach who came for the Browns, and I forgot his name. Excuse me for that, but we'll definitely be looking to see how that goes next podcast next week.
Yeah. So the next one is Colts versus the Jags. I have this one 24-7. The Colts winning.
24-7. So I think a big name that went to the Colts. Most people know Phillip Rivers, the quarterback for the Chargers. A very good quarterback for the Chargers. Probably going to go down in the Hall of Fame, probably. He's just that good. He's a really good, great guy. A really great, skilled player.
He's got 19 kids too, I think. Or something.
Yeah, he has hey, let's not. He has issues in other parts of his life. But as a quarterback, not at all. I think last year he had some really bad interceptions against I was watching the Raiders and Chargers game last year. He just wasn't looking on point. I think the Raiders ended up winning that game. And just because he was really having some issues. But I think the problem was his offensive line wasn't all that. He obviously had the wide receivers, Keenan Allen and some other great targets. Hunter Henry, he's a great tight end. But now he has that Colts offensive line with Quentin Nelson and some amazing great guys around him to protect him. The defense is my question for the Colts this year. How will the defense stack up? They have Justin Houston. They have DeForest Buckner. I believe he led in sacks for the 49ers last year. He really helped that defensive line out. But I think they're going to – if the Colts want to win games, they have to win with their offense, to put up points in the run game. Phillip Rivers cannot make turnovers and interceptions, and that defensive line has to step up their game for that secondary that's kind of weaker. A lot of secondaries are kind of weak in this NFL today. But, yeah, I agree. I think the Colts will beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars traded away a lot of their players. I think it looks like they're probably going to tank this season for that number 1 overall pick, and I wouldn't be surprised if they got it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do, and I don't think they're going to win this game. So.
Yeah. So next one is Panthers versus the Raiders. I have this one 27-24. I have the Panthers winning this one.
Panthers against the Raiders. 24-27?
Yeah, Panthers winning.
Panthers are winning. So, I kind of like the Raiders' offense. I think their line is pretty good and kind of underrated. Incognito is a great left guard. He's a veteran, left guard. Trent Brown at right tackle. I believe he's playing right tackle. A monster in the run game. Like, he's like 330, 40 pounds, just huge guy. He would play for the Patriots for a little while, and he was a key staple in that team. But I think now, I actually have the Raiders winning this game. I think Teddy Bridgewater hasn't really proven to me he's a starting NFL quarterback yet. And I know we had a great season last year when Drew Brees got hurt. Yeah. I knew everyone's talking about how great he's going to be this year with the Panthers. They got Robbie Anderson. They have CJ Moore, I believe. Some great weapons for him. The offensive line's a little shaky. I'm not sure how I feel about that offensive line with protecting Teddy. My question is, the others, how is the Raiders' defense? The Raiders' defense, when I actually first looked at this game, I thought it was pretty good. They have a pretty good defensive line. Linebacker core is all right. It's the secondary that I'm really scared of with the Raiders as well. As of when I look at the Panthers, I see a decent secondary. James Bradbury is a great corner. Love him. I really like that team, that Panthers team, especially with that the new addition at defensive tackle they got from the draft. This one could go either way. I think. What are they playing at? Are they playing at the Panthers?
Panthers.
Are they playing?
It's Raiders at Panthers.
At the Panthers. So yeah, maybe I think that might convince me that the Panthers might just win here. But this one could go either way, I think.
Yeah. For the next one, we have the Patriots versus the Dolphins. I have this one 20-16. I have the Patriots winning.
Yeah, this will definitely be a close game. We'll see how good Cam Newton just won the starting job, I think, like a day or two ago.
Yeah.
So we're going to definitely see how good he does. I'm excited. I'm excited to see someone other than the name Tom Brady starting for the Patriots.
Yeah, it's going to look kind of weird out there. Seeing someone who's not Tom Brady playing quarterback. But I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be close. I think it's going to go down to, just who wins.
Whoever wins this game wins this game.
Yeah, whoever scores more is going to win. So.
Yeah. I think the Dolphins are starting Fitzpatrick, I do believe. So I like that idea. Me personally, I like sitting the quarterback for a year or two, letting them grab some experience along the way, and then whenever you're ready, put them in. That's what they did with Mahomes. They just had him for a year behind Alex Smith and that amazing offense, and then when he was ready, they put him in and they won a Super Bowl last year. It's proven that it works. Lamar Jackson, kind of same concept. That wasn't a full year, it was a couple games, but still give him some time to adjust. So, yeah, I think the Patriots also will win. I think it will be a one-score, 3-point game. It'll be very close, for sure.
This one is Seahawks versus Falcons. I have the Seahawks winning 35-17.
35-17. I think it will be something like around there. I think it will be a 2-score game, perhaps. The Falcons offense, every single position on the Falcons has a first-round draft pick grade, first-round draft pick player. Every single position. It's crazy. They have Todd Gurley now, and that's kind of what made that happen. I like Julio. They're playing, against the Seahawks, but Julio Jones against Jamal Adams playing that deep safety. They're not going to send him deep very often on Jamal Adams' side. Jamal Adams is a great, very versatile player. And I really I think that the Seahawks are going to be really good this year. They might even take the number 1 seed for the NFC. It's hard to predict the NFC. It always has been. But the Seahawks team really has the potential. They were they were in the second round of the playoffs last year, barely lost to the Packers. This pick really, not this pick, this player, Jamal Adams, will really help them, I feel like. But yeah, I think it will be a 2-score game, and Seahawks will win.
Chargers versus the Bengals. I have this 24-21. The Chargers are winning.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't like to think about what this Chargers team has to offer. A lot of them are saying 5-11 for the Chargers. I think they're going to do a little bit better than that, 7-9, maybe even 9-7. The Chargers team is loaded with talent. My biggest problem with this Chargers team overall, amazing. My biggest problem with the Chargers team is their quarterback. They have Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert. I don't know how I feel about Justin Herbert yet. I haven't seen him play very much. I didn't watch him in Oregon. We're going to see him this season, I feel like, at some point in time. But Tyrod Taylor, let's see if he does well. I think this will be a great staple game for him. If he does 3 interceptions, we'll know it. This is a great Chargers defense. They have 2 great edge rushers, and Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, 2 amazing edge rushers. And now with Linval Joseph in the middle, it gives you, you can't really run the ball too well with that big run guy, big old run stopper, defensive tackle. I don't know if he probably made a couple Pro Bowls. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, he's going to have a really tough time with that secondary. I feel like that secondary is extremely good.
And it's going to be his first game. He needs to get a little experience under his belt. I feel like that's why I have the Chargers over the Bengals. I think the Chargers are also just a better team.
They are, yeah. Overall, talent-wise, definitely the Bengals. But if A.J. Green is healthy this game, I think it'll give Joe Burrow a good option. But I'm really scared about that Bengals offensive line against that Chargers amazing defensive line. Joe Burrow's going to suffer some sacks. I feel like at least 1 or 2, maybe even more this game. But I think the Chargers will pull off the victory here in this game.
Next one is the 49ers versus the Cardinals. I have this one 27-24, the Cardinals winning.
Upset alert. Yeah, I do too. I think the Cardinals are actually stacked in talent, but I don't know. This one could definitely go either way. I think what's going to happen, 1 or 2 things are going to happen. Obviously, I mean, it's a football game. But I really like this Cardinals team with DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray. I think a lot of people are saying that they're very overrated. I don't think so. I think when you add a top 3 wide receiver to a team, especially on offense, it gets that much better. It really does. Larry Fitzgerald, a legendary Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Crazy. With DeAndre Hopkins, with Christian Kirk. The offensive line, is okay, but when you have Kyler Murray who can run,
it frees up more offense.
You definitely can get some talent, get the best talent out of those guys. Biggest question for Cardinals is the defense. Can the defense hold up? Well, they have Chandler Jones, who had 19 sacks last season. No one talks about him because he's not a big name. I think, with the big addition of Isaiah Simmons playing anywhere on that defensive side of the field, Cardinals can definitely mirror Kittle with Isaiah Simmons if he can mirror Kittle. I think he has a skill set too. He has to be developed a little bit, but I think he can do that. So yeah, the Cardinals could upset the 49ers, especially after that Super Bowl loss. The 49ers are going to be a little bit down in the dumps, I feel like, for this game, but I know everyone's ready for football, including the 49ers and Cardinals, so we'll just see. It could go either way, but yeah, I also agree that the Cardinals will win.
Next one is Saints versus the Buccaneers. I have the Saints winning this one 28-21.
Yeah, it's going to be a one-score game, probably. More than likely, unless what could probably happen is this Buccaneers has so much firepower on offense. I feel like they're almost certainly going to collapse at some point in the season. Yeah. And this Week 1 game is definitely going to test their physicality and the way that their team works as a unit. That's why we look at the Patriots. They make it to the Super Bowl almost every other year. They made it just about every year for I think 3 years straight, and they won 2 out of those 3. So when you look at that Patriots team, it's how they're not big names. There's a couple big names like Brady and Gronk every now and then, but it's mostly how they play as a unit, right? Why do you see these Patriots, the same people on these Patriots, make they go all the way to the Super Bowl, and then the players leave, and then you just never hear of them again? It's that system. I feel like the Patriots system is very good. And when you look at this Buccaneers system, they went 7-9 last year. They had just about all the players they had last year are still on the same team, with the addition of Fournette, who just joined, with the addition of Tom Brady and Gronk and freaking Mike Evans. Why does no one talk about Mike Evans? He's so great. He's such a great one-on-one jump ball guy. And then Chris Godwin's speed is legendary. I mean, you just have the offense, but you don't look at the offensive line because the offensive line's a little lacking. How's the defense for the Buccaneers going to hold up? They have so great up front, but that secondary is a little weaker. But I think the Saints are overall better. I think overall, on offense, it's unmatched. I mean, obviously the Buccaneers on paper are the best team in the league. Yeah. But the Saints' defense is also extremely difficult to go against. Coached really well. Some great guys who are getting some years under the belt, making it to the playoffs every year. It'll be a good game for sure. I think it's the game of the week, actually, and I think it is my game of the week as well.
I'm not going to watch all these games, but I'll definitely be watching the Saints versus the Buccaneers.
Definitely. It's going to be a good
See Tom Brady's new fit. See him in the new threads for the first time in game.
Definitely.
It's going to be nice.
Is Gronk going to be, Gronk from 2 years ago, or is he going to be, new Gronk? And, so we'll see. I like the Saints in this one as well.
The next one is Cowboys versus the Rams. I have the Cowboys winning 30-17.
30-17. I'm thinking a little closer than that, but I'm thinking a one-score game. The Rams are a team that they kind of went all in on that one season when they went to the Super Bowl, and then they ended up losing. They only put up 3 points, and it was really sad. And then they lost so much draft capital. But now they have Jalen Ramsey. They have Aaron Donald. They have 2 really good players on defense. But will those 2 players be able to carry them against the Cowboys? And I think Aaron Donald's going to be a great player. He's going to be paired up against Zach Martin, arguably the best guard in the league. Him and Quentin Nelson, you can take your pick. I think Zach Martin's a little better in the pass game, but Quentin Nelson's better in the run game. But I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think it's going to be really fun to watch. But can Dak Prescott do what he did last year and beat the Rams? They played the Rams last year. They beat them. It wasn't even close, especially in Mike McCarthy's new system. How is this going to affect him? How is he going to do? We have all these factors to play in. The Rams offense, they don't have a running back. They don't have Gurley now. They have, I believe Brown is their running back, and we'll see how good he does. Now, Jared Goff can't rely on that run game. He has to show that he is the quarterback of the future for this team. And I don't know. I think the Cowboys will end up winning, especially with the ugly new uniforms for the Rams. They look, they're just a little too much on the eyes. A lot of people said they like the bone uniforms. I didn't really like them very much.
I mean, I didn't like hate the uniforms. Just they're mid.
They're like, I like the old I definitely like the uniforms last year a lot more. Yeah. Definitely.
And for the Cowboys, I think it's the same thing as every year. It's like they have the players, they have everything they need to go to the Super Bowl and win it all. Mm-hmm. It's just, can they do it this year? I don't know.
Well, we lost the center and Travis Frederick. He retired. So we have Joe Looney taking over. Will Joe Looney be able to step up to that center plate? We have some great wide receivers. You got CeeDee Lamb. Will this wide receiver core not drop the ball? There was a lot of drops last year, and hopefully we can get rid of those. The secondary for the Cowboys is really weak as well. Hopefully these guys can step up and prove that they are the team that they were meant to be. And we'll see how that goes in this Rams game. I feel like this is a good matchup for both teams to prove what kind of team they're going to go, what type of team they're going to be going into this season.
Yeah. Next one is Steelers versus the Giants. I have the Giants winning this one, 24-17.
So, this is one I really disagree on, but I could see the Giants winning this. The Steelers this year, I feel like, are going to be a really underrated team, and they're going to end up making the playoffs. They might even rival the Ravens. What makes the Ravens and the Steelers so different is I think the Steelers are going to be carried by their defense. Last year, that Steelers defense was almost impenetrable. The Bills barely beat the Steelers defense last year. This is the same Bills team that went 10-6. I believe they went 10-6, or maybe 11-5, but they made it to the playoffs last year and almost beat the Texans. This is a good Bills team, and they almost lost to a Ben Roethlisberger-less Steelers team.
What team?
The Steelers and the Bills.
This is the Steelers and the Giants, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so off track.
Yeah,
Are they? I think they're playing. Yeah, they're playing later in the season, and I just got done with my stuff earlier, and I was like, this thinking that was gonna be a good matchup. Right, the Giants. Who did the Giants? They lost Eli Manning. They had Daniel Jones. Saquon's all right.
I like Saquon.
I do like Saquon. I think after finally being a Cowboys fan, I'm gonna agree that Saquon is slightly better than Zeke. But
I think Zeke can be better.
Can Zeke? Yeah.
It's just really.
Yeah, I think Zeke just needs to really. I don't know what he needs to do. I'm not a big running back expert.
What made him also look bad is every time there was like a third down, Jason Garrett would run him, or they would just keep running. I felt they run him at bad times. Watching the games,
it was very predictable. Their play calling was very predictable.
Yeah, and I feel
the
like
Cowboys team.
Maybe with this coach it'd be better. Hopefully it will.
Yeah, I think McCarthy will really make this run game be very, very good, and this pass game may even be better than our run game. Because as a Cowboy fan, our priority was always run the ball first, and it made it really kind of predictable with Zeke and that amazing offensive line. But now we're wasting talent.
Yeah, and you now have, I would say, really good wide receivers.
Very good. One of the best cores in the league, for sure.
Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
You got the
Michael Gallup and now CeeDee Lamb. Definitely really good team. But looking back at the Giants, yeah, the Giants team just doesn't have that offensive line, I think, that can stop the Steelers' defensive line. And I think Daniel Jones is really going to see some defensive plays he's not going to expect. The Steelers team loves to blitz, and they're going to be all in his face. And can that offensive line stand up and take those blitzers and make Daniel Jones step up and make those throws? Can they do it? I don't know. I don't think so. But we'll see. I think the Steelers defense is really going to be the backbone of this team. And if they don't step up on week 1, this might just be the downfall of the Steelers this season again.
Yeah. It's going to be a super close game. I just have the Giants winning. But if Steelers win, I could definitely see that. Next game is Titans versus the Broncos. I have the Titans winning 27-14.
Mm-hmm. I think the Broncos are going to be decent this season. They're not going to be a playoff. They might be a playoff team, but I don't think so. Mm-hmm. Drew Lock has a lot to prove. Drew Lock is going to be the quarterback of the future as of right now for the Broncos. And he had some good film last year when he got thrown in for after Flacco. But I think really it kind of boils down to a lot of things within this game. But this game, Tennessee Titans, what do they want to do? They want to run the football up the middle with Derrick Henry, and they want to have some play action passes with Ryan Tannehill. And I feel like they'll be able to do that. Von Miller's going to be in their face, but they have an amazing offensive line. I feel like they'll be fine. I feel like the Titans will end up winning this game. And I think it will. Where are they playing it at? They're playing in Tennessee, or are they playing? Not that it matters too much because both are kind of similar.
Yeah, it's Titans at the Denver. That'll be Monday as well.
At the Broncos.
Yeah, at the Broncos.
And is that a Monday night game?
Yeah, it's a Monday night game.
That's a Monday night game. So the Steelers at the Giants is the Sunday night game, and then the Titans at the Broncos is the Monday night game. So yeah, this one could definitely. But I really just like the Titans in this one for sure. I think the Titans are just so much of a better team. But we'll see. We'll see how the season goes, and I think it'll be fun. It'll be a fun season, especially that Saints and Buccaneers game, man. That's the one to watch this week. Will the Buccaneers step up to the hype and absolutely just shock the world and beat the Saints and be like, holy crap, this is the new team that we really got to watch out for? I mean, they can, but will they be able to?
Yeah,
we'll see.
And then last game is Lions versus the Bears. I have this one 21-20. The Lions winning. Mm-hmm. I think no matter the score, I think Lions are going to win. Mm-hmm. Personally, that's what I think.
The Lions last year were a team that definitely showed potential. They almost beat the Packers last year. They actually, fun fact, I believe both times the Lions played the Packers last year, they led the game. The Packers didn't lead both of those games for a single second, and they lost both of them.
Yeah.
So it was a really. I think it's a little fun fact, but yeah, the Lions definitely have the potential to win some big games, especially with Matthew Stafford here. They didn't have him last year. I think this year they have all the talent they need, especially with Jeff Okudah at cornerback. I really like Jeff Okudah. He's the 3rd overall pick in this draft. Him paired up with the cornerback from Atlanta. They're going to be a great duo for a couple years to come anyway. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I think the Bears have that defense still for the most part, that Bears defense is still there. But overall, yeah, this one's probably going to go to the Lions, depending on how well Stafford can hold up against that Bears defense. But my biggest question for the Bears is, how is Mitch Trubisky going to do this season? He's a quarterback who really has been struggling, really been underperforming. When he was a 2nd overall pick in the 2017 draft, Mahomes went after him, Deshaun Watson went after him, a lot of criticism. But we'll see how that goes. I'm really excited for that game. I think that's going to be a really close game, too. But the Lions might just sneak this one out again. They started off 3-0-1 last year and finished only with 3 wins last year. So I think this year they're going to try to make the playoffs. And I could see them making the playoffs as long as Matthew Stafford stays healthy.
So next up, we are going to be talking about the top 10 NFL players ranked by 46 ESPN experts.
Yeah, so if you haven't checked it out, look it out on ESPN. It's on the screen right now, hopefully. Yeah, we're still seeing how this editing stuff works. Yes. So it might not be on the screen. It probably will be though. It shouldn't be too hard to put a picture on the screen as we talk about him. So in order from 10 to 9, we have Deshaun Watson at 10, George Kittle at 9, DeAndre Hopkins at 8, Stephon Gilmore at 7, Christian McCaffrey at 6, Michael Thomas at 5, Russell Wilson at 4, Lamar Jackson at 3, Aaron Donald at 2, and Patrick Mahomes at 1. So what do you think about this, Dylan? What was your initial thought when you saw these rankings?
Well, I agreed with most of them. This isn't like a crazy list. Like, you don't see any crazy names that shouldn't be up here. I think Michael Thomas, it's debatable if he should be up here. And if he's not up here, he's probably in the top 20, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe top 15. But I don't know if he's the 5th best player.
Yeah.
There are some names I see that are not up there. There's names like good quarterbacks, like Aaron Rodgers stuff. I don't know if they should be up there, but you just have players like that you would think maybe should be up there, maybe shouldn't. So.
Yeah. I think one name that should be up there. I don't know if this is like the top 10 players just right now or just like over last season, but I'm assuming it's as of right now. How about Julio Jones? I know he's 30, but in my opinion, he's still the best receiver in the league right now.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't have the touchdowns that he probably should. I want to say he had 1,300 yards last year. He had around 1,300 yards. He had over 1,000 for sure last year, but he's so consistent. He's so good. Michael Thomas had 1,700, but I believe if you take out all the slants he runs,
he runs. It was.
What was the yard total? It was something.
It was crazy looking at the number if you took away the slants.
It was only a couple hundred, if that. Yeah. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So he's a specialist at that.
Definitely.
There's no better slant. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, imagine no one's gonna run the slant route and you still can't stop him. That's how the Vikings took him away. They knew he was gonna run those slants routes, and they stopped him. And so I think Michael Thomas is a little high. He is a specialist in one category, but I think Christian McCaffrey should be higher than him for sure. Christian McCaffrey was the whole Panthers offense last year when Cam Newton went down. So I think he should be higher. Michael Thomas probably shouldn't be on this list in my opinion, but as of last year, he had 1,700 yards, and I'm not going to take that away from him. He had a great season last year. Yeah. But, now that they know what he's going to do, can the team step up and stop him from doing that? We'll see. I like Patrick Mahomes at 1, though. I think he is the best quarterback. He is the best player in the NFL right now. He's super young, has a lot of growing room to do, and even better than he is right now, which is hard to think about. But
it's he's not even in his prime yet.
Yeah.
And he's doing the things he's doing right now.
Crazy, man.
He's going to be running the league.
He could arguably, if he kept playing at what he's playing at right now, the level he's playing at, be the best player to ever set foot on the football field. Yeah. And that's crazy to think about, I love him. I love Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Donald. Okay, Aaron Donald, I love him. I love Aaron Donald. As a defensive lineman myself, love him. Great guy. He has a six-pack now. I don't know if you noticed on his Instagram, but yeah, he kind of flexes his six-pack. And it's kind of cool for a defensive lineman to have a six-pack because when you think of linemen in general, you just think of these big fat guys. But Aaron Donald is, ripped. Is he the number 2 player on this list though? What do you think?
I mean, I don't. He's top 5 for me.
Top 5, definitely.
Number 2, I don't know. It's kind of hard to rank, especially when I don't know too much, but I know a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard for me to rank, but I don't know about number 2.
From what I've watched about Aaron Donald, especially teams have figured out got to double team him, maybe even triple team him sometimes. Because even those double teams, he'll break through occasionally. I don't know. I think he is a little high. Maybe 4. I think would be, especially last year he didn't have a sack total. I think he had over 10. I don't want to say he had over 10. But, So talk about Lamar Jackson a little bit. And what do you think about his position at number 3?
All right. So Lamar Jackson, I kind of like his position at 3. If not 3, then definitely number 2. He's a great player. He was the MVP last year, so I mean, he has to be top 5. He has to be top 3. He's an MVP. I think the only thing with Lamar Jackson is what can he do in the playoffs. So far in the playoffs, he hasn't showed too much, but he's young. I think he has a lot more time and room to grow. I think the playoff struggles, they're nothing to be worried about. It takes great players sometimes a long time before they can get playoff success. I think him being at number 3 is a good spot. If you don't have him at 3, you have him at 2. And I don't think you have him over Patrick Mahomes, personally. Yeah.
I really do like Lamar Jackson. I feel like he's kind of, he's such a threat when he runs. That's why his pass numbers are really good because he runs a lot. He's good at his running. That's why they wanted him to play wide receiver. But he said, no, I'm a quarterback, and he's proved he's a good quarterback. I like 3 where he's at, but I kind of like Russell Wilson a little bit more. I feel like Lamar Jackson has the potential to be a Russell Wilson. One thing that's really scary for Lamar Jackson for me is he never slides. Out of the however many attempts he had running, I forgot how many rushing attempts he had. He only slid twice.
Yeah, that's
something like that.
That's scary.
It is. Especially
that's probably going to cause an injury eventually.
It is, and if that's your franchise quarterback, you just don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
I think 3 might. I like 3. I'm thinking more 4. I'm thinking a little bit more 4. Russell Wilson's number 4. I think I would want to switch Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson personally. what Russell Wilson has done, I'm really happy now he's starting to get recognition, but I feel like it's a little too late for what he's been doing.
Yeah.
2017, the season right after Marshawn Lynch retired.
Yeah.
Then he went to the Raiders, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But after he retired, I think they scored like 36 touchdowns that season. Every single touchdown, except for one of those touchdowns, was made by Russell Wilson, whether throwing or running.
Yeah.
He carried that offense in 2017. He's the definition of the Seattle Seahawks offense. Without him, that offense is nothing. I'm happy they finally have some receivers around him with DK Metcalf. They just signed Josh Gordon, so hopefully he can stay off the marijuana. We'll see how long that lasts.
Well, I think the NFL has legalized.
Oh yeah, they did.
They've legalized the marijuana. They were drug testing for that.
I forgot.
So I mean, he can smoke as much as he wants now.
Have fun, Josh. So yeah, I think he should be. I think Russell Wilson should maybe be 2 or 3 here. Definitely rivaling, McCaffrey or Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore is a little bit lower on this list. Where is he at? He's at 7.
He's at 7.
I think he should be a little higher, like around 5. Stephon Gilmore has just been an amazing corner, especially last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Russell Wilson should be a little higher than 4. But for this list, overall I like where he's at.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas, we just talked about. Maybe he shouldn't be on this list. He had a great season last year, but will he continue to keep up that work, running those slant routes? Probably. Yeah. We'll see.
If he can expand on different routes, he's going to be great. But just running a slant, like pretty much every single time he catches the ball is off a slant, is eventually defenses are going to pick up on that. He's going to become obsolete.
That's what they did in that Vikings game, that wild card Vikings-Saints game. The Vikings knew what he was doing. They stopped him. And that team, they only scored 20 points. The Saints only scored 20 points when they went into overtime. Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at Michael Thomas, can you really just say Michael Thomas did all that work? When you have Pro Bowler Drew Brees, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, number 1 in yards. I think he's number 1 in touchdowns right now as well, all time, not just like for one season. No, all time in yards and touchdowns. I mean, is it just Michael Thomas or is it Drew Brees? I mean, it's Drew Brees throwing him the ball, Michael Thomas catching it. And plus that amazing offensive line giving Drew Brees the time to throw the ball. So I'm not going to just say that it's Michael Thomas himself doing it.
Yeah, and I don't want to discredit what Michael Thomas did.
Definitely not, no.
It's just like, I don't know if he's top 10. I don't think he is. He's not. He's not top 10. I'm saying it.
Yeah. So then we're going to Christian McCaffrey. He's only at number 6. I forgot how many. I think he had like 2. I want to say he had 2,000 all-purpose yards. 2 all-purpose yards.
Insane season.
Yes, sir. Insane. He had an insane season last year. Crazy, dude. I think he should be a little bit higher than 6. I think he's going to help Bridgewater out a lot. If the Panthers end up going 7-9 or better, it's going to be because of McCaffrey, not because of Bridgewater. I feel like, but McCaffrey's definitely been that player for the Panthers, and there's no doubt he should probably be top 5. But there's so many great players. How do you rank these amazing talents? Because they're all different positions. They all do different things. How do you compare?
And it's a little bit. It's like harder. It's harder to rank NFL players than it is NBA players. Because you actually play one side of the field, one side of the field in football. Yeah. Basketball, it's both sides. It's each of rank. So it's kind of hard to look at it and say, is that good? Is that bad?
Stephon Gilmore at 7. Stephon Gilmore is the best corner in the league. In terms of stats and other types of things, but just watching him, you can tell he's so good. He stopped Amari Cooper last year on like every play. I was watching the game as a Cowboys fan, and it was just infuriating to see how well Stephon Gilmore played. He didn't allow a touchdown until like they played, I think, either the Bills. I think they played the Bills. It was like right before, like the second to last week of the season when he allowed his first touchdown in the entire. That's insane. Yeah, you cover like wide receivers of NFL caliber and not allow a single touchdown until late in that season. Should he be higher than 7? Definitely, but most of these players kind of should be. I mean, it's hard to. But so I think I like 7 where he's at right now, maybe 6. Everyone just bump everyone up a spot, move Michael Thomas back a little bit. So yeah, there's not much to say about Stephon Gilmore other than he won Defensive Player of the Year. He deserved it. Yeah, definitely a great player for sure. We're gonna go into Deshaun. No, my bad. DeAndre Hopkins
at number 8.
Yes. Great player. I think he had like 1,300 yards as well or something similar to that last season. Maybe even, I think he had a little bit less than that. Maybe he didn't. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's a great wide receiver. He's top 3.
Stud.
In the league.
I cannot believe Bill O'Brien traded him for a bag of chips.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
I'm not gonna. Hey, I'm not in the NFL.
I'm not a GM.
I'm not either. You know, maybe David Johnson and a second-round pick was just worth it. You know, well, we'll see when the Texans play the Chiefs in Week 1 how well David Johnson does, and maybe they will be worth it. I don't think so, but hey, who knows?
Number 9 is George Kittle, making him the best tight end in the league.
I think he is the best tight end in the league.
I do too. Yeah, I think he's better than
Kelsey, right?
Yeah, Kelsey. That's right.
Kelsey.
Yeah, I think he's better.
I love him. I love Kittle. I love the way he plays. He plays physical. Yeah. He plays.
Just watching him play, you tell he loves the game too.
Loves it,
man. The energy he brings is amazing. So
what people don't talk about is when you compare tight ends, you compare them like wide receivers usually. It's like look at these receptions, targets, yards, touchdowns. No, it's not like that at all. That's only half the battle. The other half is the blocking aspect. And there's almost I don't think there is a tight end that I've seen that blocks better than George Kittle. And that just makes him, that's just a better argument to make him the number 1 tight end, in my opinion, and definitely on this list, making him the number 1 tight end. You don't really see tight ends go this high on like top 10 lists, but Kittle definitely earned it. He really was that great option for Jimmy Garoppolo and allowed Jimmy Garoppolo to feel more comfortable throwing to tight ends. And I think Kittle definitely helps this team out a lot, and I'm so happy he fits into this scheme. He's a player who really earned the success.
Yeah, and at number 10, Deshaun Watson, making him the 4th best quarterback according to ESPN.
4 quarterbacks on the top 10 list, and that kind of just shows you how important the quarterback position is.
Yeah.
Should Deshaun Watson even be on this list? He's on 10. No, he's on the edge. Should he really be on this list? I don't know. There's other great players at the end of the day when you look at all these amazing players.
Yeah, there's just so much talent. It's hard to do. It's hard to look at the top 10 and say, like, is that right? There's the top 50. We're not going into that today.
Yeah, we don't have our own list of top 10. And we probably should have got that. But next time we'll be a little bit more prepared with stats and everything when we go over whatever topic. Yeah. But I think Julio should definitely be on this list. I'm a big Julio fan, even if he is in his 30s. Only 6 touchdowns last year, but double coverage in the end zone was very common sight for him. So, yeah, I really like this list. I think overall it's okay. I think it needs a little, but these are experts. And, I mean, these are analysts. They have all the stats next to them. They have everything next to them. And so this is a great list, I think, overall.
Yeah. Next, we'll be talking about Leonard Fournette and what he did to my Jaguars. So what I heard, I heard about this a few months ago. He got mad at the Jaguars for giving Gardner Minshew the franchise tag, like the franchise player tag. He was mad at him, and I get that. I feel like Leonard Fournette earned it and probably deserved it over Minshew. But at the end of the day, the NFL's a business. You're trying to sell tickets, and I feel like Minshew just like the meme he became his rookie season. He's gonna sell more tickets. He's a fun player to watch, and what happened with Leonard Fournette? It sucks as a Jaguars fan. Him wanting out, him getting out, and then going to the Buccaneers, and making them even better offensively. Kind of just sucks.
My question is, will Fournette fit in that Bucs system? The Bucs don't have a Fournette type of player. They have Shady McCoy, LaShawn McCoy. Very elusive running back. He's not a very big power back, obviously. 5'11", very elusive. I think Fournette was a great pickup for the Bucs, but will he fit in that system with Brady? Will he be able to play hard? That offensive line's not very good for the Bucs. I mean, they have a couple. They have 1-2 good players on the Bucs, but no really standout offensive lineman as of right now. Will Fournette live up to the hype? That's my question. And we'll see. Week 1 against the Saints, that's a good defense. Yeah. If Fournette wants to prove himself, that's where it's at. I think that whole Bucs team has to prove that they are the better team against the Saints. A Saints team that has been phenomenally good these past couple of years, for sure. So I think Fournette has a lot of
question marks around how is he going to fit with this Buccaneers team. It's either going to be great or it's going to be mid. I don't feel it's not going to be terrible. I don't feel like.
I think it's a great pickup for the Bucs.
Is it going to be great?
Will his personality go with the Bucs and all those big name personalities in the locker room? I follow him on Instagram, and he's a very big personality guy. He was taking screenshots of him with some rappers, and look at my guys, we're celebrating leaving Sucksville, and I'm like, oh my goodness, dude.
I'm gonna say I don't like him. Just for what he did. I liked him last year. Don't like him anymore.
I feel that, dude. When you have a player on your team, at least he didn't go to a division rival. He didn't go to the Texans. He didn't go to the imagine Titans with Derrick Henry and Fournette on the same team.
I don't want to. So
imagine if he went to the Texans. I think he'd be a better fit on the Texans. But with Brady, I feel like his life's gonna be a lot easier. I don't think he's gonna have 1,000. He might have 1,000-yard season, but splitting reps with Shady McCoy, I don't see it very often. I'm not gonna see it. Probably not gonna see it. He might, but I think he's a good fit. Will he get very much playing time? Probably not. We'll see. So that's about it for our first podcast. We had a little stutters. I had a lot of stutters, I'm not going to lie. So it's our first time talking for an hour straight to nothing except for each other, I guess.
Yeah. And if the audio is bad or choppy, we'll probably notice. But if we don't, tell us in the comment section.
Yeah.
And leave some suggestions for us to talk about
Definitely.
in our comment section.
Definitely.
But if you want us to actually answer it, because we probably won't if it's in the comment section, unless you get a lot of likes, you can subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah, we're setting up a Patreon.
That'll be in the link, the description link.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it down there. You'll also see it with all our social medias, spanning from Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Instagram, TikTok. I'm pretty sure
that's about it.
Yeah, that's about
I think. Yeah, we don't have. I mean, there's not very many.
And also, you're on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully you guys really did enjoy this podcast. We had fun talking.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I had fun. Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I think it was a very great experience. A lot of fun. So yeah, be sure to check out our Patreon. It was. All the money that you get that you donate to us, we're not gonna go out there and buy a Gucci belt. We're not.
Yeah. The money that you subscribe with to our Patreon, it goes straight into the podcast, making it better.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get real mics eventually. Real mics. Camera.
Our audio will not be straight from the iPhone. It'll be from a mic. It'll sound very well done, very high quality.
It'll sound professional, like we're spending the money into it. And we will be. We're not now.
When you look at NFL players, especially good NFL players, and they start building their careers. Look at Dwayne Haskins. I'll use that as a big example. The money he got from his rookie contract, he's putting into his work. Mm-hmm. He hired a professional cook and a professional trainer to make sure he's the best quarterback for not the Redskins. My bad. The football team, the Washington football team that he can be. So that's what we're going to try to do here. We're going to try to get all the money. Yeah. Eventually, we'll probably have a camera set up. We'll have better mics. We'll have maybe even a better place to record, because right now we're just recording in a room in my house.
Yeah.
But
so I think the plan for recording is I have it upstairs. I think I'm going to try to make a kind of a corner where you put the padding, better audio.
And the money will go into the padding. Make sure there's no echo or anything. There might be a little echo here.
Hopefully, we can get the money we need to make this as good as we want it to be, and as good as you guys deserve for subscribing to our Patreon, to our YouTube.
Of course. Now, when you subscribe to our Patreon, there's going to be a lot of benefits. You'll be able to ask us questions at the end of every, right around where we're talking about it right now. Yeah, we'll answer your questions.
Any question you ask.
Any question.
It doesn't have to be
NBA,
sports related.
NFL, doesn't matter.
Try to keep it sports related.
Don't go into politics. This isn't politics. We're just here to talk about sports.
This is the Roberts Sportcast.
Yes, sports.
So let's keep it the sports.
Try to stay on NBA and NFL as well, because I'm not a big baseball person. I don't think Dylan is either.
No, I'm not either. And if you talk about hockey, I know 2 teams. And I don't know any players. So.
I think there's the Maple Leafs. I think that's one of the teams.
I know the
Penguins.
The Penguins and the Dallas Stars.
And the Maple Leafs. So that's
the Maple Leafs.
Together that makes 3. Yeah. So yeah.
So keep it to basketball, keep it to football.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Mainly the professional, but we know a little bit about college, but
yeah.
So try to keep it to the NFL, NBA, and for the NBA peeps, if you stuck around, thank you. That was This is a lot of football.
A lot of football. But look at you. You're going to be diverse in the way of football and basketball.
Yeah. So, in the words of Michael Jordan, I'm the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
We the GOAT.
And I think
that wraps it up. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how much the Patreon will cost. We'll probably.
It's going to be a lot.
Yeah. We'll try to get it as low as possible. Yeah. I don't know if there's certain options for that.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for sticking around. and listening to us babble about sports that we don't have the stats, or there's a lot of I don't know that in particular.
Yeah.
But next time we'll probably we have lives. We've been really busy this week, both of us especially. So we haven't really had time to get all the stats together. But next time we'll probably have a little fewer, either the same amount of topics or fewer topics. So we'll do a little bit more research on them. We'll be able to talk about the games obviously next week.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be talking about those and those.
Yeah, we'll probably record Saturday, so we'll get the Thursday games and a couple of the Saturday games, depending on what time we record.
Well, you got to remember. You're right. It's not until next weekend. Yeah, so we'll get the Thursday game for sure.
Yeah.
We'll be able to talk about that Chiefs and Texans game and what we thought about it. We'll probably have to both watch it because I'll be off on Thursday. I don't have football practice that day. Hopefully Dylan will be able to watch most of it, if not all of it. We'll see though.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for sticking around and enjoying this podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as we did talking about it. Like I said before, feel free to check out all of our social medias.
There'll be a link in the description. Subscribe and flick that bell, baby.
All right, thanks so much for watching.
See you in the next one.
Wake up and every day told me a promise that I would make it one day as an artist. Music's the only thing keeping me honest. I know that I want it, I'm hoping I got it. Addicted to all this remotely melodic. See how some people become alcoholics. Addiction is real, but mine isn't as toxic. Although sometimes I feel a little psychotic. I know that I got it in me. Can't stop what's in me to the top. Believe me, I'm not resisting. It's all beginning. I'm all but willing to break the ceiling. Oh, take a chance and do it. Take a stance and prove it to yourself. Improving every day you're moving. Every day's a new one. Don't fear to lose one. Bounce back and move on.